being looted, but the primary reason for that is because the food is not sufficient. However, here's another question. Where is the food being? Where are these things happening? They're almost universally happening in what are called red zones, areas that the Israelis themselves protect and enforce. And the people who are doing the looting are people who are Israeli sponsored. They are gangs like the gang of Abu Shabab. They are groups of people who are literally under the protection of the Israelis. And anytime Palestinians, whether it be Palestinian families, Palestinian police, which do exist, or the Palestinian citizenry, anytime that they fight these gangs, what they find, and I've literally seen this when one of these gangs attacked the hospital about a month and a half ago, is that the Israelis quadcopters show up, the Israelis drones show up and start fighting in terms of protecting their goons and killing anybody who's trying to bring order back to the situation.
So you've seen that. You've experienced being under attack at Nasser Hospital, and Israel military support. Basically, these drones coming in and fighting alongside one of these gangs. And I don't know that people have a full awareness of Hamas exists in the context of Gaza, but there are competing gangs that. Particularly now, and we see this whenever you destroy the infrastructure of competing gangs start to rise, and some are being supported actively by Israel as a way ostensibly of, I guess, fighting against Hamas, but also as surrogates for Israeli forces.
Yeah, let me paint you a picture of the attack on Nasser that happened in June. So the first thing to say is that attack, the last attack, the one that I'm going to describe, was the sixth attack on Nasser that primarily were Israeli-led. These ones included Palestinian gangs, but they were primarily Israeli-led within a 3-month span. The way in which this happened was that we are in these accommodations for international doctors and healthcare workers that are relatively high up in the hospital. And all of a sudden, it was like all hell broke loose, shooting everywhere by all manner of heavy weaponry and light weaponry. And so, of course, we all bunkered down, went to the ground, and being an emergency doctor, and this having been the third attack on the hospital, I knew that I needed to get to the emergency. So I ran down to the emergency department where these gangs were trying to break into the hospital, shooting at anybody who they could. They killed, I think, 4 or 5 people in the hospital within the 2 days before. That was a